Hello friends, today we're looking at this alcohol marker from Spectrum Noir. It's from their Mermaid Dreams set, which is a bunch of different types of media that they produce, and they produce these limited colors in a lot of different mediums. To test them all, I'm doing a 1-minute short or Instagram reel every day to test them out. Today we're doing the alcohol marker, and this had 3 really cool colors, but they're all almost the same tone, so you can't use them really together to create a blend. They're more separate colors at the same tone. So I found this really cool stamp in my collection of Bethlehem, and it goes up hills, and so I thought, I'll color each hill using one of those markers. So here you can see I'm doing the purple one on the second to the bottom hill, then I'm going to go the pink and then the blue. I decided to use the mid-tone as the marker, highlighting that marker, because I think the mid-tone is the color that it most looks like. Even though the light tone is probably the most prevalent, the mid-tone really sets the tone for the color blend. And then I pulled out some other Copic markers to round out, what was needed to actually do the coloring, since those are the markers I have. It blended perfectly, no issues at all blending between the 2 different types of markers, the Spectrum Noir and the Copic. You can see in the top left the marker cap of the marker that I'm using, and you'll notice that I mix between color families. For example, sometimes I'll use blue-greens with blues, and I think it gives the color more depth than when you go straight just down a color family. For example, if you went BG01, BG03, and then BG05, you get a perfect blend, but it would be kind of flat. So I personally like mixing between color families, and it's actually something you can do. You want to do analogous colors and not complementary colors, but other than that, you can really mix and match between color families. Now, I decided to make the front of this picture very vibrant, and you'll see that the vibrancy goes from the foreground to the background. It becomes less vibrant, more lighter in tone, and that's, if you look at a picture of a landscape, it's really weird. Don't ask me why it happens, but the further you move back, the lighter things become. So that's kind of what I tried to do. And I really struggled with what colors to do at the foreground, but I went with these really vibrant greens and yellows, and I think it really stands out. You get the celestial feeling of the background, and then the more earthy feeling of the foreground. So I typically go light, medium, light, dark, medium, light in my color process to get a really good blend. I don't care about it being perfect, and that's something you'll see. I'm okay with a little bit of brush strokes. That's fine. I'm just trying to get a decent blend, because I think the brush strokes add to the arty look. When I had finished that strip of the stamp, I felt like the white sides was just too much. It looked not enough like the nighttime, which is what I really wanted. So I decided to extend the picture, and this was so easy. I mean, you're just making hills, right? So just following the line over. But instead of continuing the color over, I decided to go with some grays, and you'll see as I work from the front to the back, I go first from the warm blacks to the neutral blacks, and then to the cold blacks to help with that transition. I'm also adding some of the dots in as well. And I wanted to blend between the color to the dark so that it looks like there's this vertical column of color to help tell the story of Jesus being the light of the world. So that's why I moved into the grays around the edges, right? And you'll see in a minute I'm going to add some light coming out of the little barn at the bottom, and it's going to be really cute. So the one thing I will say I'm not 100% sure on is the very background. I'm thinking maybe I need to add a darker edge, maybe go full black and blend it then into the blue. I go back and forth about it, but I feel like it's almost too light where the night sky would actually be really dark. So I might change that, but I really tried to focus on blending the color into the grays on this one especially. Once we get done with that, we're going to move on to the yellows, where we're adding yellows in the barn as well as in the lights in the city. And so you'll see in the barn and in that first hill, behind the barn hill, I use all three colors of yellow. And then in the next city part up, I use 2 yellows. In the very back, I use 1 to kind of show that more dimensionality at the bottom near the foreground. I also went multiple times with the lightest yellow up and down in the same place from the barn up to give those striations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back tomorrow for another video.